Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to talk about Workhorse Stock and wow, what a move that stock has made after hours. So we'll go through what is going on with Workhorse, what's the opportunity here, is there an opportunity to go buy into this company and everything like that. Now some of you guys may know that I did a stock last week saying I sold it, and in that video I talked about Workhorse and saying that I sold Workhorse last week. And when I sold Workhorse last week, I made a 50% gain on the stock price, and it seems like a very good move right now with the stock absolutely tanking after hours with some negative news that's come out about Workhorse. So if you do want to keep up to date with when I'm buying stocks and selling stocks, like when I bought Workhorse, when I sold Workhorse for 50% profit, make sure you join the Patience group. There's a link in the description. But apart from that, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and we'll take a look. So Workhorse is trending down over 20% after hours, going somewhere between the teen range now, somewhere around 18, 19 as I'm recording this video. We'll see where it opens up because potentially it could move even further from there. Now the news that came out last night was to do with risk..Com, and I've not heard of this company, not heard of this website, but apparently they confirmed that the United States Parcel Service contract, the big thing that Workhorse needs, has been delayed once again. Now I think it's always important with an external source like that to take a pinch of salt and just wait for some confirmation from the United States Postal Service themselves and wait for them to confirm, which there isn't anything just yet. So I would be just wary on that sort of front. But like I say, I think it seems like quite a credible website. So it seems like they probably would have to make sure they're reporting things legit like that. But in all honesty, I do think this is a legit source, and this is probably true about United States Parcel Service, that they have delayed the contract. So this was what came out. Postal Service delays mail truck replacement contract again. Already years behind schedule, the US Postal Service announced another delay in its efforts to award a more than $6 billion contract to replace its fleet of aging mail trucks, with the classic photo of the truck on fire in a petrol station. Oh, there's plenty of them on Google Images. If you search United States Postal Service truck on fire, there's plenty few of them, and this is why they do need replacing. The Postal Service told risk.com that it expects to reach a contract within one or more of the teams bidding for the business in the federal government's second financial quarter of 2021. That works out as the first quarter of next year because they work a quarter ahead. Previously, the agency said it would award the business earlier this year, but then being pushed back to the end of 2020 because of COVID pandemic. I always thought that was a bit of a get-out excuse, but never mind. It missed several targets for awarding the contract in 2019 and 2018. So like I said when I talked about selling out Workhorse, this is the big problem because Workhorse at the moment, you can say what you want about the company in the long term and other orders and every other customer, but realistically it does need a big parcel service order. It needs an Amazon, for example. It needs a FedEx. It needs a UPS, a United States Parcel Service contract. If it wants to be a major company demanding a $3 billion market cap with what revenue and profit it currently has, which is pretty much awful, let's be honest. Like I said before, my local fish and chip shop does more revenue and profit than this company. And that's a massive problem. It needs a major contract to help this company. And unfortunately, a lot of the major contracts, you look at a lot of the big deals now, I think UPS are with looking at the Arrival, I think. And then you look at Amazon with Rivian, Rivian, should I say, not Rivian. A lot of these companies are getting tied up now with another EV maker, and Workhorse doesn't have one, and it needs one to be a major player. So a lot relies on this company. It's pretty much make or break on this contract. And that's why I said that's my big worry. I'm not a fan of being in a company where you're relying on someone else, and let's be honest, someone that has been delaying the contract for 2 years, to keep delaying that when we need it. Otherwise the company's going to be in a very negative position. And I was like, what happens if it gets, delayed once again? We say, oh, it's definitely coming in 2021 now, but what was if they delay it another 2 months or another 2 months? And we end up, and we've already had 2 years of delay. What was if we get another 2 years of delay? Workhorse in a great position, health-wise for that, which is the massive worry with this company, is that, it's burning through so much cash, and we're relying on this one contract. And if it just gets delayed, it's just more and more problems. And that's why I said when it was up so much, I'm going to take the risk off the table here, because that's the one thing. If it gets delayed, bang, we're going to suffer. And that's what's happened. The contracts got delayed and we've suffered. And I'm very happy that I've took my profit off the table now, because look at that. The share price has fallen off a cliff. So that's something you got to be really careful of. And like I said previously, we look at the Q3, we see how horrible this company is doing apart from this trying to get this contract. The company in 3 months burned over 80 million. 80 million in 3 months. Now, Workhorse has raised another 200 million, and I think he's got something like 220 million on the balance sheet, I believe, right now. But if a company is burning through 80 million a month, this company has less than a year amount of cash on its balance sheet. And if that contract gets delayed, it's going to burn through more and more cash. It's going to need to raise more and more debt because that balance sheet's horrible. And that's the big problem, because we're relying on this and the company's burning through so much cash and the debt is horrible. The company is in a very bad place. This company is not going to exist in a few months' time unless it raises more cash again. And that's a big problem, because if it raises cash, it's going to dilute shareholders. And this comes back to my problem as well. A company like this, like Workhorse, where I think the revenue is something in 100,000 or something like that. It's a six-digit revenue, but it's burning through nearly an 8-digit kind of money every kind of quarter. And it's like, that shouldn't be right. Like, this is what I've said, like, the company aren't managing the situation well. And that's led me to the question about the management team. What are you doing in place to try and stop this? You should be on top of this all the time. They should be there managing a lot of these supply lines, saying, if we don't get this, let's manage this cost. Let's have people ready to come in if we do get the contract. And they need to be on top of that and not burning through that much money. And this led me to my other point about the CFO. Like, the CFO's big job here is to manage a lot of this cash and managing for a situation where they get the contract, they're ready to start scaling up this UPS, United States Parcel Service contract straight away. If they don't get it, is it ready to cost cut very quickly to save money? But once again, the CFO was off doing YouTube interviews. And I was like, why is he doing YouTube interviews for the company to get 6,000-7,000 views? It's pointless. Like, you've got bigger, as a $3 billion company, there's big problems in your company. Not to go get 6,000-7,000 views on YouTube doing YouTube interviews. And that is the big thing that I was like, whoa, that's a very bad sign. And you can see this all playing out now. It's a lot quicker than what I thought it would. But still, you see the big major red flags that I pointed out last week, and a lot of them are starting to take effect right now. So unfortunately, it's a bad situation for Workhorse, because, like I say, I don't know whether the management team are actually that committed to trying to solve a lot of these financial problems out that Workhorse do currently have, instead of burning through all this cash. So unfortunately for me, it is a bad situation. Good that I made the right decision to sell, but it's a bad thing that Workhorse are in right now with the limited cash they do have. Once again, another delay, burning through the cash side of it. So I guess the big question now is, would I go and buy back into Workhorse right now? And the problem I've got to say right now is that I'm not blown away, because with how the big thing for me is management. How they've kind of done over the last 3 months really has made me a lot more nervous into this company, where previously, if it did dip down, I'd be a lot more confident to buy. But with what they've been doing, makes me a lot more nervous to get back in. And I might consider Workhorse if it was under $15, $14 maybe. But right now at $18, it's just probably too much of a risk for me. And I think there's probably a few better, even though Workhorse, you would class it as a spec play, I believe there's definitely some better spec plays out there right now with a management team that I would be a little bit more confident in than Workhorse is right now. So unfortunately, this is a big problem for Workhorse, and we'll see how it works out for them. Hopefully it does, because I know some of you guys have a bit of money and shares still in them. Hopefully it does work out for them, but there's some major red flags going on there right now, and hopefully that United States Parcel Service contract doesn't get delayed for the 100th time. Hopefully this was the last one and it comes out in 2020. Hopefully we get there in the end. So hope you enjoyed it. You can smash the like button, that'd be absolutely amazing. If you are new, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.